Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. This is not typically when we hold a live stream on the channel, middle of the afternoon on Wednesday, but happy to do it. And even happier to have it being an unusual live stream. At least it's been some time since I've sat down with this gentleman and this brand and discussed what was new. And I know there's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of ups and downs. But ultimately in a stronger place than before. And obviously, there's no mystery here. We're talking about Argos fragrances. We're talking about the one and only Christian Petrovich, who I have known now for some time. And it's just cool to see this progression coming at this point in time, see where the brand has come. So I know a lot of you guys have been really asking me. I've been seeing comments, especially in the last month or so, maybe even less, just asking like, "Hey, are you going to be talking about new Argo stuff? Are you going to be like, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing that. When are you talking about it? When is it coming? When is it coming?" And the anticipation has really been building. So thrilled to finally be able to present to you guys what is new with Argo's fragrances. But first, say hello to Christian Petrovich.
Hey
Christian,
everybody. Hey Justin, how you
how are
doing?
you? I am doing well. How are you doing, sir?
Good to see you.
You as well, looking good as always.
It has been
We
about
got
a year,
some,
hasn't it?
I think it has. I feel like the last stream we did was for the release of Adonis Awakens, perhaps.
That would have been early last year, early.
Yeah. So it's been some time since we sat down and
I had
and
to
and
find where the lights were and the power cords and stuff.
yeah.
It was in storage for so long. I was like, oh man, I should have probably done this a couple days ago.
Man, you never know what's going to come up. But yeah, happy to see you back on the live stream circuit. I know got some exciting things to share. But first of all, just wanted to acknowledge all of you guys watching here, whether you are here live or whether you are watching the replay. If you're watching the replay after the fact, welcome. Hope you enjoy what you see. But those of you who are here live, I see you guys. I see Adolfo is here. He's saying cheers to Argos with the salute. Sir Siaj, I agree, saying that is one sharply dressed gentleman. Took the words out of my mouth. Could not agree more. Every time I see you, I feel like you got a new suit.
That's because I do.
Uh,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
yes, I'm
It's
observant.
finally in the 80s in Texas. In the last, I don't know, 5 months, it's been like over 100.
That
And we
is
rained
insane.
for the first time. I don't think it's rained in about 3 months. And
Yeah.
when I was over in Europe and in Istanbul, it was the hottest summer on record there too. So everybody was dealing with it this summer.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, it must feel good to have those balmy 80-degree days upon you now.
Yes.
Such relief, I'm sure,
Mhm.
relatively speaking. Jared Miller, thank you for the super chat. Tuition paid, as always, Jared. Thank you.
Hey,
Stay
Jared,
fresh, fam.
I think he's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. So shout out to
Yes,
Kalamazoo, Michigan.
I believe he is in Michigan. Yes.
That's
Let's
where I
get
went
some
to
fire
college.
in
I
the
lived there
chat.
for a while.
Oh, really? Okay.
I went to
Yeah,
Western Michigan in Kalamazoo.
awesome. I've actually spent a little bit of time there just for music traveling through. So beautiful place. Love that town.
Yes, sir.
Slap that like button, guys, as Jared says, if you have not already. Um, yeah, man, you just got quite the setup here. You got the beautiful
Oh yeah.
handkerchief. You got the
Oh me.
yes, you on your
You know
person.
what? This one I decided today not to go with custom. This is just Hugo Boss right off the rack. 42 regular. Fits me like a
Okay.
glove. Don't no tailoring whatsoever. So every now and then
Yes.
you find that one brand that just fits you perfect. And when you're in a pinch, that works out great.
Well, guys, if you want to get Christian an off the rack suit for Christmas, now you got his
42
size
regular.
and go with Hugo Boss. Though they seem to be the go-to. Um, that's awesome. Happy to hear it. It's good to find that because it is hard to find for
Yeah.
sure off the rack. Yeah, we see people are popping in. Portugal, Christoph from Portugal. Let's just kind of dive right into some chit chat here. I'm sure a lot of people have been wondering where has Argos been, And you just mentioned you were over in Europe. You want to give us a little bit of background on some of your time there?
Yeah, sure. So about half the year I've been out of Texas, out of the United States, in fact. So early March, went back again to Turkey. I was in Turkey. I've been in and out of Turkey many times, in and out of that new airport in Istanbul. And finally, last September, I got out and explored a little bit, and I kind of fell in love with Istanbul. And I was like, this is not a bad place. So I ended up purchasing a villa there, just a little bit. It's called Büyükçekmece. So
flows off the tongue.
You Turkish viewers. Yeah, so I got to learn Turkish now. So yeah, I'll be spending half my year starting next year in Istanbul. Of course, we still have the office in Nice and a little spot there near Graz. So it's only a 3.5 hour flight from there to there. So I'll be 6 months out of the year. I'll be overseas starting next year. So this year was in Italy, was in Monaco, obviously, was in France, obviously, and then Istanbul, Turkey. So that was the majority of my travel so far this year.
Wow.
And I just got back. I think I've been back almost a month now. I had to get back because I had a 40-foot cargo container of glass that was trying to race me back here, of course. I beat it, and U.S. Customs decided to take their sweet time going through all my stuff. That's
They're
another.
Good at that.
Yes, we were barely able to get the stuff released from Customs and up here from. I think it was California port this time, and then we unloaded it and started. We've been nonstop filling bottles and shipping out every day.
Man, happy to hear it, man. Just right back to the ground running. Sounds like
there's no break, and then but we got Fall of Phaeton coming October 1st. Plus, we've got a launch party here in Dallas, Texas. So if anybody's near Dallas or Texas in general and wants to come into Dallas, and be a part of that launch party, we've already got about 250 RSVPs. That's not including their guests. It's going to be here in Dallas, Texas at the Keith Johnson Gallery. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have DJ. We got a live electronic violinist. We've got an artist that's collaborating with me for some of these paintings. And if you know ARGOS, obviously we got the Greek mythology themed fragrances, but we also have the artist series. So we've kind of incorporated that into some of the artwork on the bottles and the boxes. I'm also working with a local artist here, Abel Garcia in Dallas, Texas, to do some custom paintings, and those will be for auction during the charity event. All proceeds go to the Source of Hope, Dallas, Texas, to feed the seniors. So that'll be on the 29th.
Okay.
Coming up.
Man, if you guys are around, I wish I was around. That sounds like the place to be. Sounds like a great event, a great celebration of just all of this goodness happening. Quick little question from Beardsome asking, will Argos be released in the UK?
We do have a new distributor there now. My Perfect Scent just started carrying the brand out. They're primarily online, and they do have an influencer that runs and manages that brand, but she just made an order a few days ago, and it's in the air right now, so they should have it next week.
Okay, My Perfect Scent is the name of the distributor?
Yeah, and then we also do ship directly from the United States to the UK, directly from here in the US. We ship via DHL. Any order over 200 ships free.
Cool. Good to know. There you go, guys. Hope that answers that. Let's see people talking about Nemean Lion. People asking, when will it be back? Well, I'm seeing several questions about that. And I know there's been a little bit of a story behind Nemean Lion with some hangups, perhaps. And I don't know how much you...
The story behind that is so long. It's got its own mythos. Okay, so I don't know where to begin, and we may get into that a little bit later in this.
Sure.
But we'll definitely...
You just want to give us an intro.
I just purchased more oils that are hopefully on their way.
Great.
This will be the first from a new distributor that I'm working with to secure some oils. I work with several. I work with Feminiche, Simrise. I work with all of them. But this is a different one to get some of these real choice, real expensive ingredients. And if you've gotten those on Nemean Lion, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can get into a little bit of the mythos behind getting that fragrance out later on. See, Dan just sent a message. Hey, Justin, Dan is a great guy, great support of the channel. I'm traveling on business, but my Argos package just arrived at my house. I preferred Nemean line a year ago, and I finally got it. I also purchased Love Triumphs. Look forward to smelling. All right, Dan. Good to hear.
I hope you enjoy them. They're all different. They're so different. Nemean line,
Yes.
that's the first one of the new Hercules, 12 Labor of Hercules series. Sold out last year, wasn't able to get the same ingredients, and I had to find a new source, which thankfully I did. And like I said, I'm trying the shipping right now to see if I can get it over here quickly and it arrives okay like I want it.
Yeah.
And it's a gorgeous scent. It's not for newbies. It's not for the designer wearers, you know. Nothing wrong with that, but if you're new in the fragrance journey, I don't recommend Nemean line. This is for mature noses. It's something beautiful, something special. But if you're new, I just get into the other fragrances first. Take your time. This whole fragrance thing is a journey. It's a journey for me too. Even my taste change.
Yeah, we all do. Is the more you sniff, the more change happens, and it's kind of uncontrollable and unpredictable, but it's a beautiful thing. In fact, I do think I remember seeing on your website a little disclaimer or warning with Nemean Lion saying like
21 and up. It's the only fragrance.
Yes.
20.
I was like, that's good.
I'm trying to actually get it to be restricted legally.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Well, yeah, typically on my live streams, what I do is I take the first 10 minutes just kind of talking with the people and chit chatting. So we've done that. We've surpassed that time frame. So I kind of want to get to business here. We'll do some unboxing, we'll do some chatting, we'll do maybe a giveaway or two as we go. So guys, I don't know if I made this known, but Christian sent me a couple boxes here, and he specifically requested that I don't open them. And I'll tell you what, man, I've been sitting looking at these boxes for days now, and just like it's been just grueling just watching them.
I wanted to try something different.
Yes, and I'm happy about it.
You're going to get your time with them, and you'll be able to spend time and then give your full review later. You got me here now, and you can kind of pick my brain on the story, what the reason behind it, what can you kind of expect before you get into this. And then I want you to see some of the packaging. So we've upgraded also our gift wrapping. We've upgraded our thank you cards. We've upgraded to some of these nice test strips with the nice gold foil.
Oh, awesome.
We're just elevating everything that we possibly can. I'm putting a lot back into, giving back to the customers, because this is a luxury niche product. And I want this to be a celebration and a gift for yourself if you're getting it for yourself. And a lot of people are getting it for other people because they know when they get something from Argos, it's a special thing and people are going to appreciate it. So
yeah,
I thank you and I appreciate you all, and we're doing our best to keep always up in our game.
Yes, yeah, and it's clear. It's clear. Every new release, there's some new fixings or new trimmings or new major stuff. There's always something. So I appreciate the constant elevation. Gerard is saying, I feel like Brad Pitt movie in the movie 7, What's in the Box? That was a crazy scene. Exactly. You know the movie. Okay, so we got 2 boxes here. One is very much bigger than the other. We got the smaller box here. And then this. This monstrosity here. What do you recommend?
That basically is right here in front of me. So if you don't want to open it now, that's fine. This is our new luxury gift box sets. As our line is growing, we're going from 8 to 9, 10, 11, 12 if you include the X-Straight and the Nemean line 13. So the brand is growing starting last month or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So it's nice to have this beautiful display box. I don't know if you can see the crocodile skin on there. It's kind of hard to see.
Oh yeah.
Everything is kind of dark. But yeah, it's a beautiful box to house your fragrances. This is going to go to some of our select boutique partners. We've got the matte gold that people are familiar. If you've got some of our bottles, you'll be familiar with the matte gold caps that we've switched to on some of the products. So even that was very hard to do. Opens up like so.
Wow.
And then you've got
Oh,
your Argos fragrances that you can display at home, or that, like I said, this will be at some of our boutique partners and distribution partners as well. The cool thing about this too is if you have some of the 30 mils, we've got this drawer right here, and it actually pulls out. I don't know if you can
that
see it.
is so cool.
Or you can
Yes. No,
actually
I can
fit,
see that.
you can fit the nice little 30 mils in there as well. So it's all the EVA laser cut foam. So even these drawers pop off, and you can
Oh, man.
the slots too. Yeah, you know, I think about everything when I do these.
Man.
But yeah, when it comes to the boutiques and you want to just place them on here real nice, then you can put out the nice velvet red piece and cover up those EVA cutouts. So yeah, this is a great display piece. Great in your home. This will go up on the website October 1st, same date as Fall of Phaeton. So that'll be something that'll, you know, if you want to, you know, really display that collection and then also keep it safe too, you can lock it up and keep it hidden away from the sunlight or the kids or who else, the animals. But yeah, this will be available starting October 1st. We're only making a few of these. I think we're making about 100 of these, and that's it. But yeah, that's the big box that you've got, so that you can display. Because I think you've got all of them almost. I'm going to say almost because there's another package that you didn't get yet, and we'll talk about that too.
Okay.
All
Wow. I had to get back on camera because I needed people to see my expression. My jaw is on the floor. I did not expect when you open this to see all of this. I mean, this beautiful, bright, vibrant, like red, just like, oh
Yeah,
man,
it's nicely made, and you know what
that's
else is really
stunning.
cool too? Um, I made this extra piece right here. That's an extra stand. It also
Oh,
has, and the cool thing about this, it actually flips up and goes in here when you don't have the bottles, and you can shut it down. So the whole thing comes as one. You'll see when you get it, it'll have a big piece on top. You flip that out, and that's
okay.
basically this display right here.
Got it. Extra space. Yeah.
Yeah, extra
That
space.
is cool. In fact, this is coming at a great time. I mean, first of all, I'm honored that with such a limited quantity of these, you would send me one. Um, and it is actually something I truly need because your fragrances occupy quite a large space on the top shelf of one of my cabinets. And it's like getting, questionable to like, how am I going to add more here? This
Well,
is
now here's
literally the
your
perfect
answer.
solution.
And
So I
that's great
appreciate
too
it.
that I have that pull out, that piece that goes to the side that I just showed you, because the brand is going to expand even farther next year. And we'll talk about the expand, you know, some of the future stuff that we got coming up. And
Yes,
then
yes. Oh, wow. Gold flakes.
24 karat. Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. So it doesn't stop. And there's lots of things that I'm still testing right now and making sure the atomizer still works with those flakes floating in there and what I need to do. Because you know I
Yes, yes.
like to figure everything out before you all get
Definitely,
the product.
definitely.
You don't pay for my mistakes.
Yeah,
What
man.
you
A
get,
lot
and
of
like I
trial and
said,
error.
you know, my fragrances take 2 years before they come out. There's
Yeah,
a lot of reason for that. I want to make
yeah,
sure that, you know, I can replicate it. It's reliable. It's valid. All that
yes.
stuff. And then that way we don't have customer service issues or any problems. I want you guys to have the best experience possible with these fragrances.
Yes. You are very meticulous, and we appreciate that. Quality is not even a question. Is this box currently available for
Not until
purchase?
October 1st. You're seeing it.
October 1st.
You have one of the first ones out.
Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, some people were asking about the
October 1st.
price.
Yeah, so that'll be on the website, and we're looking somewhere around the 750 range.
Okay. All righty. My goodness. Quality, luxury, everything. Okay. Do you recommend I open up
Yeah,
these fragrances
open a
now?
small one, because I'll tell you right now what's inside it. It's going to be the 2 new ones that just came out: Birth of Venus and Fall of Phaeton. Not Fall of
Okay. Oh,
Triumphs Over War. Fall of Phaeton is until October 1st.
got it. Yes.
And
Okay.
this is going to be a part. There's going to be a part 2 to this. So everybody who's watching today, hopefully Justin has time for me next month.
Oh, I sure do.
That's when we're going to get more into, and we'll touch on Anemia Lion and we'll touch on the TOB X-Straight, but those those are going to play kind of a little bit of a back seat today just because they're sold out. So
yes,
I don't want to
makes
hype
total
something
sense.
that I don't have in stock. But
Yeah, you don't want to tease people.
well,
Totally.
and people get a little offended when I talk about it and I don't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, they make it very clear. Okay, so we have two beautifully gift wrapped boxes, and you were not kidding.
Okay, so
This is
when you
a
hold that up,
step up.
that's not your PR. That's not any different than anybody would get if they bought the gift wrap option. Now, if they don't buy the
Yes.
gift wrap option, I think most of you know it does still come gift wrap, and we have
Hmm.
upgraded that. Even it'll still have the Argos logos and everything on it, but that special gift wrap right there is for the I think it's a $10 or $7 paid option upgrade.
Okay.
And again,
I
that's for
mean,
a lot of people that want to give these for birthdays and holidays and Christmas
yeah.
and we're trying to bring back the engraving service too. Our laser machine, I guess I got a crack in one of the reflectors, and we're trying to get that fixed here before the holidays. So we're going to be bringing back the laser hopefully soon.
Awesome.
People were getting
Yeah.
used to that, and we were doing a lot of engravings every day, and then all of a sudden I think one of the reflectors got cracked. So we're going to bring it back. We'll let everybody know. We'll do a newsletter. New option too on the website. When something does go out of stock, you have the option of being notified. We do have the Argos Fragrances Connoisseur group. We have the Instagram and everything, but please, we get probably 5 at least a day people asking when Nimi and Lion's going to come back, and can you notify us? It's like, well, okay, we do, but then all of a sudden that list is 250 people long, and we're like, we got so many. Who do we tell first? How do we make
Exactly.
it? So the best way is subscribe to the newsletter. Second best way is to join the Argos Fragrances Connoisseur Facebook group. And then also on the website, if a product goes out of stock, you have the option of putting in your email and being notified as soon as we put one back into stock, you're going to get an automatic email. So
Okay.
just do those 3 things and try not to ask us to notify you personally, because we would love to do that, but inevitably we just can't keep up with everybody, and we try. But this is the best way. If you find something out of stock, put your email in there, and you're going to be automatically notified.
Awesome. Yeah, guys, it's a little bit of a patience game, but you will be notified, and it'll be worth the wait. I see Omega Supreme. You've been asking about Birth of Venus. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. We'll be sniffing it. We'll be talking about it. This is stunning. I know there's not a whole lot of people that always put a whole lot of stock into physical presentation, but a lot of us, I mean, it makes a difference. The visual, the tactile, all that makes such a difference in the experience of the scent, even from before you even touch the bottle. So
I've told everybody so many times, I wanted Argos from the beginning to be over the top. It's not minimalistic at all. That is not the experience I'm going for. I want you to feel special when you open these, and if you're giving it as a gift, you don't have to worry. They're already going to be impressed.
That's true, and it's obvious. It is becoming more and more obvious with every new fragrance here. Okay, so this one I just opened up is Love Triumphs Over War. Now, I don't know anything about this. I haven't looked up any information on notes or stories, so kind of relying on you to fill in the blanks. I figured that'd be just fun. Man, you really upgraded the cellophane here. This is like airtight, sleek, and
it is airtight. It's better than stuff. A lot of times you get a fragrance and it's falling, it's already ripped. This actually protects it because it's expensive. The paper that we use, if you scratch it with a coin, it's metal underneath that paper. It's not your normal paper stuff. The artwork is based on Peter Paul Rubens. This is the first one that'll be part of the Peter Paul Rubens artist series. It was one that I wanted to get through forever, and I'm glad it's finally here. This fragrance was initially for Ares, god of war, and along the formulation, he'll get his day. He'll get his fragrance. I'm just gonna have.
I know a lot of people have asked about
I'm
Ares.
gonna tweak some things. I get messages all the time. Make one for Poseidon. Make one for this. It's like, okay, but it's got to make it. It has to be something that inspires me. And it's quite oftentimes it's the roundabout way, or something that just it's like a eureka moment, and then that's how it happens. It's not something that I sit down and I'm going to make this one for Zeus today. So love triumphs over war. Initially, this was, I said, a fragrance that I was creating with Aries in mind. It was a little bit more masculine and a little bit more heavy and darker. And then I got some floral notes in there and lightening it up. And I liked where it was going. So the story to me really narrated itself. Love triumphs over war. It was Ares, the god of war, being subdued by Aphrodite. And I immediately thought of Peter Paul Rubens and his painting, Love Triumphs Over War. Actually, this painting was called The Return from War. Rubens was actually painting this for the King Charles of England after the 12-year war between Spain and England. And this was kind of a end of the war gift for King Charles. And you've got Ares coming back. He's standing in Vulcan's forge. You've got all the armaments around, and they're still, tinkering away in the back, making more weapons. But you've got Aphrodite leaning in, kind of taking off his helmet, subduing him. Got Cupid, some of the cherubs down there pulling away his armor, kind of disarming him. But you always got that, that going on in the background that, and this was what was going on in the world at the time, because they knew how fragile that peace was after this 12-year war, that at any moment a spark could reignite another war. So that was pretty much the symbolism behind this painting, that, this whole, end of the war, this peace, this treaty was very fragile. And it was Aphrodite basically leaning in and subduing Ares and signaling the end of the war and its fragility.
Wow. That is such a beautiful piece. I actually want to, on my own time, just go and look at it.
With what's going on in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah. Wow. That's a really beautiful piece. I definitely want to look at that more closely.
So were you able to get it?
I did. Yeah, that thing was fighting back. It was sealed up. So
show everybody. It's got the red, because I really wanted to. It's a darker painting, and I like this burgundy color. It was more fitting for the original Ares, but then the gold really was kind of Aphrodite, and I really wanted this color scheme. Totally. So let's open it up and show. All right. So then you've got Venus or Aphrodite leaning into Ares.
Yeah, that is gorgeous.
Those 3D metal artwork plates. And some people who've never had an Argos fragrance, it's not a sticker, it's an actual plaque, and it is hand painted. And we do have those rhinestones that are printed by hand.
This still blows me away. Just the time-consuming nature of this. There's texture, there's depth, dimension. And it's just such a great, just kind of representation of the painting. But it's its own thing. Obviously, it pays homage, but it is its own thing once it's on this bottle, just with the design you guys go for here.
So the artwork and every artwork too, it's all obviously based off that painting by Rubens, but it's remastered. So there's things in the background that you wouldn't know unless you really know Rubens's artwork that kind of foretell and foreshadow things to come, which is always a cool thing to put little Easter eggs in the packaging. And then that plaque is actually based on a statue of Ares and Aphrodite.
Okay.
So that's based on something it's in existence as well.
I don't know if it's going to focus quite the way I want it to, but guys, my camera's not even doing it justice, how much detail there is. He has abs. You can see the abs. And if you feel, confident enough, you could feel them, guys. If you feel confident in your own masculinity, you could touch Aries' abs and then go do some sit-ups.
That's right. No slacking.
This is awesome. Okay. I'm going to give it a spray if you don't mind. And you did include some of these awesome blotters here.
Yep.
Let's see. So
I'm going to take a couple sprays as well.
All right. Let's see if I can get the atomizer here on camera, because I know it is phenomenal. There it is. Oh.
Yeah. It's totally different. anything that I put out.
It sure is.
Mm.
Oh man, just as opulent
Now
as anything else. But go ahead.
little old world is a little bit of the French influence from me being over there this past year so much. Just different
This is
ingredients, different, just being around different people, different places, and smelling different things. I wanted to change this one up, and the rose and the florals in here totally subdued this fragrance just perfectly to fit the story.
there is a classical feeling for sure, almost like kind of yes, very French, kind of like a fresh
Pottery,
powdery
yeah.
quality to it,
But it
posh
has
smelling.
that Argos DNA, that modern contemporary twist.
Yes. This does not smell old fashioned by any means.
I love this
And
fragrance.
there's something, dare I say, darker, but something less delicate underneath that's
Well,
kind of
we do have the
supporting.
cashmere wood. We do have the Mysore sandalwood. A lot of the things that I've used in other ingredients, I draw upon those just because they blend so well. It fits really well with the way I macerate and blend and the way I develop these fragrances. It doesn't mean that they smell at all alike. But when I use a raspberry, I've used raspberry. I love raspberry. You know, I got the Pachillo with the raspberry, with the raspberry.
Yeah.
I'll use these things again in a totally different way, but it just blends so well.
You know, this is I think it, based on what I'm smelling right now off of the strip and looking at the artwork and taking into account the story and the inspiration, um it really perfectly represents the characterization that's happening in this painting. It's you know, I can smell Aphrodite literally stripping away the hardness of Ares, like taking away the fortification of his armor and just, you know, the shell of war, so to speak, and softening him. So yes, it's softer with the florals, but there is something strong here, but you can tell it's being tamed.
It's got some cinnamon in there and some clove. So,
Okay.
you know, it could go dark real easy. That was, you know, getting the florals just right to really meld those away, because, you know, cinnamon can really take it in a different direction.
Sure.
And then, like I said, you got the woods and everything, but those are really subdued, just like the story.
Yeah. This it's.
I mean, it puts a smile on every time I smile.
Yeah.
I love this one. I'm glad the weather's dropped a little bit, because this is like what I'm wearing. This is perfect.
Yes. I see some people asking, and I know many of you are wondering, masculine, feminine, right? And I know you've heard us speaking about florals. And I know for a lot of guys, as soon as they hear that word, they're like, oh, not for me.
Every
this
flavor
must be
has
feminine.
a floral note in it. It's
Exactly.
I'll put things in a perspective where a percentage. I don't like to say it's for women or for men. I'll say I'll give it a percentage. Like this one is, for me, this one leans masculine. It's very close to 50-50, but it definitely leans masculine because of those woody notes, the cinnamon, the clove, the sandalwood, the what is it? The cashmere wood in the base. Yeah, so you definitely, this is a masculine leaning fragrance, but the powderiness and the florals are just so smooth. Definitely a woman could wear this.
Yeah.
I love this. This is an elevated fragrance. This is not something you're going to wear to the gym, but I don't make a lot of fragrances that you wear to the gym. There's a reason for that. There's lesser expensive fragrances that you could do that. Mine, this fragrance is for events. This is not a casual fragrance. You could wear it casual if you're going to the mall and you got something nice, but it's a casual day. But I'm wearing this one for an elevated experience if I'm wearing something nice.
I totally hear what you're saying. You know, when I smell something like this, I can tell there's intentionality. I can tell you've taken time to create it. And it doesn't smell like a person to me. This is a personality. So you can put that wherever you'd like. It can fit with whoever it fits with, whatever people are comfortable with, whatever type of personality they'd like to wear for the day or for the occasion. You can choose this, but I wouldn't say, oh yes, men or women with this fragrance. Some sense you can do that, especially in mainstream perfumery. You can tell, yes, they're aiming for men here, but this is not.
The best response I would give to someone that we wanted a direct man or woman, I would say 60-40.
Yeah, I could see that.
For me.
I could see that.
There's
This is
going to be some women that'll be like, wow, the powderiness, the florals, I really get that. And I
sure.
love that. And that's my thing. And that's great. And there's going to be some guys that are going to be like, this is not my typical thing, but, it's beautifully made. And it does have the woodiness in the base, and it does have the cinnamon and the clove, but it's just blended just right. This is just an elevated fragrances that I can wear for special occasions.
This is special. I have to admit, I'm not always a floral forward guy, but there's something about this that is intoxicating. It's drawing me in. I do think that the visual of it is having effect on me, which is great. I'll take that. This is beautiful. I cannot wait to get this on skin. I feel like this could be absolutely perfect for the upcoming fall. But yeah, so those of you guys who, maybe you already know, like, yeah, I'm not always crazy about florals. Know that this is pretty floral forward, but there's a lot of depth here. So I would advise maybe getting a sample set and check it out on your skin.
Yes. We do have the upgraded or the updated sample pack that does include Birth of Venus and Love Triumphs Over War. So, I always recommend that. I don't recommend buying 100 ml, getting it, trying 5 sprays, and then trying to send it back or whatever, because you don't,
That's just an irresponsible use of money and time.
Yeah, we make the samples for a reason, and we make our fragrances so different and unique from one another for a reason, because there's going to be a few fragrances in our collection that you're going to enjoy for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some will be for you, some will not, and that's okay, but that's what the discovery set is for.
Right.
I'm getting a head start on opening this up now just because that cellophane put up a fight.
It's like, so Birth of Venus, I'll get you a little bit of the background story on this one, and then you'll understand the concept and everything behind that one as well. So Birth of Venus, I wanted to do a series with Botticelli. I wanted to do one with Botticelli from the start, but I just had to get through, Gustav and Waterhouse. And I wanted to get some other ones started too. And again, it's all about inspiration. And I don't make fragrances for people. I make fragrances for me. And then if I enjoy it and I want to put it out to the world, I will. If I don't, then I won't. I don't sit there and say, I'm going to make a fragrance for the women or for the men or for this segment or for whatever. No, I make fragrances that I enjoy and I love. That's it. And you say personality. I have multiple personalities. No, there's just multiple stations. There's casual days, there's dress up days, there's weddings, there's events. There's lots of things that you have different situational fragrances for, and you're a whole different person for those events. So Botticelli, even the name. So Birth of Venus, look at the picture, and what does it tell you? You've obviously got the ocean, you've got the sea. She actually came out of and I won't go into the gory details on how she was created, but she comes out of the ocean, the sea foam, and she's on that shell, and then she's got Zephyr, the god of wind, blowing her over to I think it's Cyprus, the island of Cyprus, and then I think you've got Flora over there about ready to put clothes on her, and there's orange blossoms and there's rose.
Wow.
Sea foam. So what do you think this is? This has got sea salt. You've got chocolate. You've got rose. You've got orange blossom. So everything in the painting I've actually put into this fragrance.
Wow. Oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And who's the artist again?
This is Botticelli.
Botticelli. Okay. Do you have any idea roughly like the year he did this one?
This is for the Medici family. So this was probably 1600s. I'm thinking maybe 17.
Okay. Oh man. All right.
On that.
The detail. This is beautiful. Let's get it open here. And I see some of you guys have tried this one. I see some endorsements already. Omega Supreme saying it's excellent.
I mean, this is definitely one like where Love Triumphs Over War, I think, in my experience, is slightly leaning masculine. This one's leaning feminine.
Okay.
But that's the reason for it. There's a lot of people that are enjoying fragrances now, especially niche fragrances that are women, and they're collecting and they're getting into it. And I needed something that was gravitating a little bit that way. And you know what? It wasn't so much about that. It was the story. It was the painting. Yeah. And I think this one nailed it as far as how it smells. And I'm going to get a spray of that. too, so I can get a
Yes.
fresh
Let
one.
me show you guys this bottle.
Oh, and even the
Oh,
juice is red like
the
her
color.
hair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's stunning.
I always wanted to make a fragrance with chocolate.
Oh, chocolate sea salt. Oh, hold on. We got to spray this.
And
Again, guys, I'm totally blind on this. I didn't know
going
what
through
was in
this. I was
these.
like, it needs to be mouth watering. It needs to be all these things. And then this one, this one just nailed it.
And if I didn't already make it clear, guys, if you guys want to check these out, there's a link in the description where you can just go straight to the website. Oh, man.
Yeah, Grace is going to love that. You're going to love it, Grace.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting this chocolate. I'm not bringing it up to my nose yet. I'm getting chocolate and rose for sure, but there is this kind of airy freshness, kind of, marine for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. This is just...
we got raspberry again in there, bergamot, lemon. Wow. So you got, all you got the brightness because it's on the ocean. You got the sea salt. You got the chocolate, the sweetness from the goddess of love, the sea foam. You got the roses, and the orange blossoms in the painting. So you got those in here.
Man, this
is what I envision would smell like from the birth of Venus coming out of the ocean.
Yeah. Whoa. Just, the combination of elements working together here is beautiful. It is just so well balanced. Yes, it's pretty, like, now that you mentioned raspberry, I'm getting rose raspberry, like fruity, kind of juicy floral forward with this slightly dark chocolate, almost dessert-like, almost gourmand, but not all the way there.
Yeah.
And the fact that it has a freshness to it, that kind of sea salty freshness, really...
You got the cashmere wood, sandalwood in the base. Same sandalwood I always use. So...
Oh, man. Alan is saying...
anything like anything I've ever made.
It doesn't. No, I mean, it's even totally different from Love Triumphs. Alan is saying, I've been wearing Birth of Venus for the last 2 days. Dry down is amazing. Great longevity. I cannot wait to get this on skin. Dude, this is emotional. Like, it's literally having an effect on my emotions.
You're blushing a little bit.
I don't do it very often. I feel warm.
Yeah.
This is so gorgeous. And I love the conjunction with the artwork here, because it really, everything that is here, like when I see this painting, I see it's kind of almost whimsical, but it's beautiful, it's elegant, it is fantastical, and all of that is kind of wrapped up here. Like, there's something sensual about it, but there's something kind of lighthearted about it, elegant. Just, and beautiful is a term that is thrown around so flippantly, and I'll admit I do it myself sometimes. When I really like a fragrance, I'll just say that. And as a result, it can lose its meaning. But if we just really focus in on the meaning of beautiful, this is beautiful. This is full of beauty.
Yeah. And it's, a man could wear this one easily as well too, if you're confident and you like some sweeter stuff. Now, I think Palace Athene was a little bit more fruity floral than this one, but it's not like anything at all that I've ever made. It does have the sweetness.
Yeah.
If you as a man can get through the sweetness and you can wear that and be fine with it, you could wear this no problem.
I'll be honest. I think maybe I've mentioned, aside from the Parfum, Palace Athene is perhaps the most feminine leaning scent that Argos produces.
I would agree.
This is not quite that feminine leaning to me.
No.
It is more feminine than masculine, I would say, if we're going to put the needle somewhere. but not quite. I wouldn't say it's like even 90%
No,
feminine.
Palisandrine, for me, in my experience, is a little bit more feminine
Yeah,
than this one. This one, to me, like if I was saying Love Triumphs of a War is 60-40 masculine, I'm going to say this was a 65 leaning feminine. But
sure.
again, we're only giving, this is all based on personal preference and
It
your
is.
style. For me, I can wear this.
Yeah. I mean, with that suit, yes. You put a few sprays onto this and it just smells very intentional. You smell elevated.
And some of the colors
So,
even match my.
yeah, truly. Like this is such a gorgeous color and it's not, at first glance it might look a little bit like Triumph, but it's not quite
No,
Triumph.
it's not. It's got a little bit of more of an orange tinge to it, I
More
think.
orange than red.
And that,
And
we don't
but it's
color
like
change
maybe in between.
how it
Huh?
turns out.
What's that?
We don't put any dyes in there
Yeah.
to color it.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Some of you guys already know, but when I first got my big bottle of Triumph of Bacchus, which I still have, it was almost a yellowish. It was
Yeah.
a lighter shade of this, almost clear yellow, and now it is darker than this, and that's just from sitting in
And
the
then
dark.
you get a little air, you get a couple sprays in there, it'll accelerate that a little bit too. Keep it
Yeah,
out of the natural sunlight, out of UV, and
definitely.
different changes in temperature and humidity, and it's just going to age like wine.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Oh, this is beautiful. So, Omega, what you said it's beautiful. This is beautiful. Again, the word is perfect. Funny little fantasy question for Christian. How would you approach a fragrance based on Kratos from God of War? Are you familiar with God of War?
Yeah. I used to play video games a lot back when I had time.
Okay.
I like
Yes.
the original God of War.
Okay.
I probably won't. I mean, his name isn't actually Kratos in Greek mythology or Roman mythology, but there is a god that with a similar name. But I'll probably still do something with Ares first. I've got some other series that are coming out. There's no limit to the creativity that I can put in these. And like I said, we had the original Pour Homme Pour Femme, and then we had the artist series that came out after the Italian line, and people couldn't pronounce the name. Then I came out with the
Yes.
artist series.
Yes.
I love the artist series just because of the depth in the stories, and that it's one thing to have a story in Greek mythology, like okay, the birth of Venus. It's another to draw upon the inspiration from a famous artist and really look at the painting, study it, understand the meaning and the purpose behind it, and then throw all those things in to make a beautiful fragrance. It's another experience altogether. But I want to do another series on like the zodiac. I want to do another one on maybe Pompeii. Or maybe like Troy. Who knows? I was in Turkey this year, and I went to Troy and visited there.
Wow.
It was beautiful, but I mean, I think Hollywood did it better than than real life. I love being in Istanbul. I love being in Turkey. I want to go to Ephesia. I want to go to Anatole. I want to go to what's that huge mountain that they've got there? It starts with an A. I don't know. They got Noah's Ark there, supposedly. There's so many things in Turkey based on Greek and Roman. There was like an outpost everywhere around there. There's so much history there. And it's unlike the United States where we knock things down and we build something new. Everything that you have to build around it, which is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't wait to go back again next year and visit some of these places. There's just so much history.
Incredible.
Yeah, to get to the short answer, I probably won't do one on God of War. It's more a lesser known, but you know what? Lesser known stuff is great for me too because some of those stories are really cool. But I have one about Ares or God of War, who is the real God of War, not the version.
Yeah.
But there is a Greek deity with the Kratos type name, but I need to do a little bit more research. And it's not like I just set out to say, hey, I'm going to make a Zeus fragrance one day. It's almost like at this point with as many fragrances that I have on reserve and that I'm working on, that I've started, that I haven't, that it's almost just whatever hits me at the moment. Kind of like Love Triumphs of a War, mixing in those florals set me on a whole nother different direction. And then I immediately thought of that painting from Rubens. And I research a lot of these artists too for the artist series. And I look at the paintings and I think, well, if ever, that would be really cool to have a fragrance based on this one. It has so much meaning and it's a cool painting. And I love the story and meaning behind it. I might not have a fragrance for it, but one day, you never know, something might cross my nose, and that might be the perfect fit for that particular story. So it's really, I can't say that I set out to make a fragrance for any of the Greek gods specifically. As you notice, the names, they don't really say Zeus, or they don't say Poseidon, or they don't say Kratos. It's more of the story and the inspiration and meaning for me than it is about the god or goddess itself.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah, it's the context. There's always context around them. And by focusing on the greater picture, you just get a richer experience. So I totally agree with that.
Did you get a sample of Fall of Phaeton or no?
In the same box?
Did you get samples?
Well, it's not in this small box. I don't know if it would be in the bigger one.
Well, that'll be in the next package. It's coming in a few weeks.
Okay.
But like Fall of Phaeton, when that one comes out, it's another Rubens. And I wanted to, I don't know if I'm going to limit these to like 3 or 4 per artist for the series. So, like we got Gustav Klimt, we've got Danier, and we got Pallas Athene. Do I do one more or 2 more and then call it a day for that series? Because there's so many artists that I want to get to. And I want to make box sets eventually so that you can have the whole Gustav Klimt set, the whole Waterhouse set.
Yeah.
So I'm contemplating about maybe cutting it off at 3 or 4 fragrances per artist for the artist series, which is kind of cool too, because it gives me time to really explore more artists as well.
For sure.
But for Fall of Phaeton, that will be the second one for the Rubin series, and that's going to be October 1st. So hopefully Justin will have time for me to come back and do another live for that one. Hopefully we'll have the restock for Nemean Lion and the restock for the Triumph of Bacchus Extrait, and that'll give us some more fragrances to talk about. But for Fall of Phaeton, that one was a little bit more intentional when I was making that fragrance, because I'd already started the Rubin series with Triumphs Over War. So, obviously I wanted to give a little bit more credence to that artist and make the fragrance to keep that series going, So for that one, Fall of Phaeton was because I'm kind of like really into apocalyptic stories when it comes to Egyptology and Greek mythology and Roman mythology. And that was just one of those fragrances that was, it included the lost city of Atlantis, a meteorite hitting the earth, wiping out its civilization, an old Egyptian priest that was talking to Solon, who was a great relative of another Greek philosopher, and there were stories written. The thing about it too that was always cool for me is this was people's reality at one point in time. They really believed all these stories. It wasn't like Marvel for us, where it was totally made up, or DC. This was what they lived and breathed and worshipped and prayed and everything. I don't say that I do that now, but I think it's really cool and fascinating that at one point in time that was the reality for people. The sun came up and the sun went down, and there was a reason for it and a deity behind it all.
Sure.
But yeah, for Fall of Phaeton, it's very smoky. It's a very chaotic. It's a fiery fragrance. You don't have the imagery right here in front of you, but it's basically the story of the son of Helios, or Apollo, and he's being chastised by some of his friends because they don't believe that he's actually the son of Apollo, because his dad's always gone. Every day he's got to bring the sun up and he's got to bring the sun back, and day and night. So he went to his father and he asked his father, he said, okay, can you let me ride your chariot? Well, first he goes to his father and he tells him his story about, you're my father and I need to prove it. And his father's like, anything you want. And when a god or goddess promises you something, they have to honor that, whether it's good or bad. So as soon as he gets those words out of his mouth, that anything you want, his son Phaeton asked to ride the chariot of the sun. And he's like, no, anything but that. Please take that request back. But ultimately, he persists, and his father lets him do it. And of course, once he gets on the chariot, the horses start bucking because he's not Apollo. He can't, rein in those horses. So he goes too high, and the earth freezes. He goes too low, and the earth is scorched. And it really fits into that apocalyptic story, if you're into those things. And Zeus ended up having to strike him down with a lightning bolt. So it's fiery, it's smoky, it's a fragrance that I wanted to release October 1st because I was hoping that eventually this heat wave would subside, because this is it's for the cooler months or cooler evenings.
Yeah.
it's a very fiery, very chaotic fragrance. And the cool thing about this story is when I was doing my research into it, I was trying to figure out why he painted this. And there's not a lot of information as to why Rubens painted this painting. And you can go to the story. It's this hubris story. It's it's the adolescent who's immature. They're always doing stuff that they shouldn't, and it could be one of those stories. But when you look at the painting itself, you see the Horai, which is the goddesses of the hour and the time, and they are trying to rein in the horses, and you got Phaeton who's falling almost poetically, and he's almost giving him almost godlike stature, and he's almost respecting him in a way. And there was one quote that I found, and it kind of wrapped this one up for me. It was, even though he greatly failed, even more greatly he dared. So this was not just a typical hubris story for me. And 9 times out of 10, if you look up this story, the story of Phaeton, it's about the adolescent who's over exuberant and he's doing things that he shouldn't, and he's overextending himself, and it's the ignorance of youth. But there was that 1%, and it was that quote that really hit it for me on this one was, and relating it to myself and getting into the fragrance world without having the traditional French perfumery background or even a relative that was in perfumery. It was like, how dare you do stuff like that? And I still get a lot of feedback from the older fragrance community. Who are you, and how do you what gives you the right? But it's for me, it was the story of you might greatly fail, but it's even more greatly that you dare to do something.
Yes.
So this wasn't a huge story for me. It was the challenge. And this was something that I like, okay, I got to have this one. It's an epic painting. I can't wait for you to see it. Remastered, of course, it'll be on the box, and then the artwork that'll be on the plaque. So again, that's a fragrance coming up very soon. A couple people have it, just little samples. You're going to have yours very soon. Just think of very chaotic, very smoky. This is something that is unisex, slightly masculine leaning, but it's a powerful fragrance for a powerful painting with a lot of meaning behind it.
Well, my interest is piqued. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for that. We have some comments to catch up on here, and then I think we need to do at least one giveaway, as we promised. Sean Conley is asking, would you ever consider...
I don't believe that.
He's a big fan of Argos. Yes. He's asked, would you ever consider would you ever consider branching into another mythology to release a line with scent profiles that aren't typically associated with Argos?
Yeah. Well, to answer that question right now, the 12 Labors of Hercules, you'll find that as these fragrances come out, they're going to be a lot different than the other fragrances that I've released. Yes, every fragrance is unique and different, as you know, but now that I'm traveling more and I've had access to different oils and different fragrance manufacturers, things are going to change a little bit. And yes, my nose has changed because of all my travels and all the things that I've experienced. So the 12 Labors of Hercules, you can expect some darker fragrances. You can expect some more darker ouds, some different things. So if you're into ouds and some more nuanced fragrances, then the 12 Labors of Hercules line will be for you.
Okay. There you go. And thank you guys all who are giving super chats. Really appreciate it. Edgardo saying, my order of Nemean Lion got canceled in 2022. An email about re-release was sent out, but unfortunately it's sold out. I guess he's saying his order wasn't sent out. Is it possible canceled orders from 2022 will be notified first before those just subscribed?
Yeah, we did try to reach out to some people. People's emails changed, some things bounced back. I would suggest, just to be on the 100% safe side, go to the website, www.buyargos.com or argosfragrances.com. Go to Nemean Lion and put your email in under the sold out. That way you get an automatic email. As soon as there's one item put in there, you'll get an automatic email. So that would be my suggestion, just to be on the safe side, because literally we get about 5 messages a day. And even the orders from before, when it sold out, there was probably 150 at that time. So it's just grown. And that was last year.
Wow.
Yeah, we do. We apologize for that. But again, it was about me being able to release a fragrance and keep putting it out with the same quality. And unfortunately, one of my manufacturers, they started giving me some bad ingredients, and I couldn't put it out. So it sucks. It's a loss for me financially, and I don't like to hold things back. But I guarantee you, if you like these kinds of fragrances, the wait will be well worth it.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot to juggle, and I know a lot goes on behind the scenes with trying to correct things that didn't go quite right, and so
yeah, there's so many moving parts in it. If you change one ingredient, people don't understand. Well, some do, but if you change one ingredient, just like a lot of these stories, it changes the mood, it changes the fragrance altogether. Even some of the same fragrances with the same name could be sourced from a different part of the world. One could be humid climate, one could be ashy, volcanic soil. Just like wine, it's going to give a different vibe, and it's going to have a different result.
That's right. And I know your standard of excellence does not get sacrificed. It's like,
yeah,
nope, it needs to be this
put
way.
it off for a little while and get it all figured out, finding my oils for that particular ingredient that I need, than to put it out and have it be something that I don't like, because that's just not going to happen.
Exactly. Well, I think we better do some giveaways. So typically, guys, what we've done in the past is Christian will give us some kind of, mythology trivia question. And it's up to you guys to answer that question as quickly as you can. The first person to put it in the chat will win the prize. And in the past, we've had some funny situations where Christian and I are currently on StreamYard, where you guys are watching on YouTube. And sometimes the comments populate differently if they're really close together. So I can only go based off of what I see here on StreamYard or on YouTube. Two comments might be flipped in terms of order. So just getting that out the way, it may not be quite perfect, but it's usually not a problem. So did you have anything that comes to mind in terms of trivia that you want to ask for people to answer?
Sure. And I don't want to make it so hard that nobody gets it, but where are Aphrodite and Ares in the painting that I have for Love Triumphs Over War? Where does it take place?
Okay. Where does the painting of Love Triumphs Over War take place?
The one on the box from Peter Paul Rubens.
This one here. Where is this location? Mahogany. Let's see. The blur says Vulcan's Forge.
Yeah, the blur got it right.
It was the first one. That was quick.
Well, they've been paying attention.
Well, very good. Blur.
And one last time that took, I don't even know, it took probably till we had to come back to it because they couldn't get it. So
exactly.
No, Vulcan's Forge is correct.
Okay. So Blur, what you want to do, send me an email. I'm going to put my email address right here, the Stay Fresh Productions @gmail.com. If you are not the Blur, please practice integrity and do not send me an email. But the Blur,
disclaimer.
there is my email. Or if you're on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram and message me there. And we will get you in touch with Christian to get you, what you want to do, a sample pack?
Yeah, we'll do a sample
something
pack.
like that.
We'll
get a sample pack too.
I talked a lot because I do that a lot. Let's do a second one. In Birth of Venus, where is Zephyr, the god of the wind, blowing Venus?
Okay.
She's on that
shot. Zephyr. Yeah, where is Zephyr blowing Venus? People just keep saying Greece, which is so funny.
We got to be specific, a little bit more.
I know. Let's see. Thomas. Okay. Wait. They came in so quick. So I think Patrick was the first one to say Cyprus.
Cypress is correct.
Okay, and there's a bunch of them that came in all at the same time. So, guys, I apologize if it looks different on your screen. On my screen, Patrick HRK or Herc is the first one to answer the question. So, Patrick, congratulations. Go ahead again, that email that I put in the chat, the stayfreshproductions@gmail. Send me an email or message me on Instagram, and we will get you in touch with Christian to get you a sample pack as well. And I love you guys just being good sports. Everyone's saying congratulations. I appreciate that, guys. I know it can be a little bit of a bummer to not win, but
Yeah.
put that good energy out there. It will come back to you guys.
Like I said, I hope we have a part 2 for this one for when Fall of Phaeton is released, and then we have the restock of Nemean Lion and the restock for the TOB X-Ray. So the TOB X-Ray, because I get a lot of messages, what is that? Is it now? I just want to make it simple, because I find the more I say, the less people have understanding and they have more questions. So I'm just going to say this. The intention for the TOB X-Ray was not to have a typical flanker with a different scent profile. It was not the intention at all. The only thing that I wanted to accomplish by that was to have a more elevated, stronger, more powerful Triumph of Bacchus. So I would not expect to have a different scent profile. If you're thinking it's going to be a totally different fragrance in the same vein, no. This is 40% concentration. So you're going to pick up on some of the notes a little bit more than in the regular. Now, it is eau de parfum, the regular one, so it is strong itself.
Mm-hmm.
This is for the people, and I intentionally created this for the people because TOB sells so well, and people love it. Thank God. I wanted to make something for the frag heads, the ones that really love the TOB, something that was just a little bit stronger for them, something a little more powerful so they could get their TOB fix on, really. That's what it was.
Yes.
It's not a different fragrance, really.
Okay.
Stronger, more concentrated. Are you going to pick up on some of the notes in there a little bit more? Probably yes. If you've had Triumph of Bacchus before, don't expect it to be a totally different scent profile. This is just something that's elevated.
Great. You know what? Remind me the initial 3 of Baccio, Triumph of Bacchus, and Brivido, which is actually my scent of the day. I meant to mention that. Those 3, it's amazing. Those 3 that came out, was it 2018 or 2019? Can you remind me?
I think it was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
2019, that's right. And I don't want to paint this the wrong way, but the fact that you waited until 2023 to release what we would call a flanker, your first ever flanker. The fact that you waited, was that 4 years, something like that? It really speaks to the vision and integrity of the brand, because I'm pretty sure Triumph hit pretty early. Like when it came out and the buzz started and people started talking, I think it quickly became your bestseller. Would you agree? Like it didn't take more than a few months for it to really start flying?
Well, here's a little side note. Actually, when I created Triumph of Bacchus, I was kind of using some of my friends here in Dallas as guinea pigs before it was released. And I have a jeweler friend here. I'm not going to mention any names, but when I let him try that Triumph of Bacchus sample, he was so appalled by that. I was like, what? He hated it. And I was like, what? I could have been devastated, but this is where, laser beam focus, vision, and knowing that you're creating something for yourself that you enjoy, and that confidence that it's perfect for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to release this whether or not. Now, yes, I could have been really bummed for a long time and maybe considered changing it or revising it. But at that point, this was one that I didn't like a long time ago, and I fixed it to the point where I couldn't fix it anymore. It was perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this was something I was trying to figure it out, because I really loved Brevita della Caccia out of the first 3. And it was a tie between Baccio and Triumph for me, because I was really into leather at that time. And those 2 had the leather notes in it. The Brevita della Caccia was so regal and masculine, and it was just one of those power scents that I was wearing at the time. But Triumph of Bacchus, and I was trying to figure it out. Like, I think, is it the name? Is it the color of the gold? Because the other two came out with the silver caps, and that one came out with the gold. Is it the name, the Triumph, and the name? There was a lot of things that was going in my head. Like, what did I do right with this one that was so good? But I couldn't keep it in stock. I think it sold out like 4 or 5 times that year.
Yeah.
Because when I'm putting these out, I don't just say, hey, this one's going to be a hit. I'm going to need to buy 5 times more ingredients for this one, and only I think they're all going to be a hit, of course. But
yes.
but it's whatever everybody gravitates to, and I think there was a lot of reasons, some of which I mentioned there, the imagery and the naming and a lot of stuff that was going with that one that was just people got it and they were intrigued by it. And then once they smelled it, they were curious too, because you had tobacco notes, and you had these saffron, and you had the peach, and you had the apple, and you had all this stuff, and then the rum notes. Some people are like, well, I don't like boozy fragrances. I don't like tobacco, or I don't like tobacco fragrances. I don't like saffron. But then when they smelled it, like, wow, it's so beautifully blended, and I can wear this elevated. I could wear this with a tux. I could wear this with a dress. I could wear this casual. Definitely don't wear it to the gym, but I mean, it's such a versatile fragrance, and it's not too serious, but it's definitely not wife beater and flip flops. It fits a lot of things, and it's so wearable, and it is unisex, and it's not too extreme in one direction or the other, with a lot of powerful notes that are blended in there. And again, that was when I was really getting into my new maceration and blending process that I do. So yeah, there's a lot of reasoning behind it. I think though that one really took off, and it is a beautiful, versatile fragrance. Whereas Bravita della Caccia, I think, is a little bit more specific, and the Mate Absolute and the Juniper Berry, it's a little more sharper. It's a little more specific. And again, the leather is very prominent. It is more masculine, so it isn't quite as versatile as Triumph of Bacchus, even though it does have the this bergamot and the lighter notes at the top. Bravita della Caccia I think was going to be the hardest one for me out of the 3 when I was thinking about it. And I was thinking Baccio was going to be the most out of those 3. I was thinking that Baccio was going to be the hit. But it ended up being Triumph first, Baccio, and then Bravito in that order. And again, people love the leather, how it's done and how smooth it is, and the raspberry note and everything with the Baccio. And there's a touch of oud in there too. But it is such a light fragrance, not light as meaning it doesn't last. It's a powerful fragrance, but it's not a heavy wear. It's something that you could wear in the summertime. And when I was coming up with the concept for this one, in the back of my mind, it was summertime oud. I was playing with ouds at the time and leathers, and I really wanted something that could be worn year round with oud.
Yeah,
that was kind of the backstory for Baccio. But everybody loves Triumph of Bacchus. There's only been like 1 person in the world that doesn't.
Yes, I get it. I know what you mean. Yeah, I totally get it. Again, my whole point of saying that was, I've seen the behavior of many brands where when they release a fragrance, it hits, and then it becomes essentially a cash cow to the point where it's like, okay, we need to capitalize on this right now. So within a year, we have a flanker. Yes. Oh my gosh. Triumph of Bacchus.
Bacchus extrait. That's it. It's only 40%. It's a powerful fragrance. And if you love Triumph of Bacchus and it's worth it for you, try it. Now, we don't have the samples because there's some other things going on too. Like, I didn't want to waste my time on samples when I knew it was going to sell out. Number one, I needed every drop of that to fill the bottles, just like Mimi and Lion. Now, what I say to people who, real specific in their taste, but they want these, just wait. Well, eventually we'll get the samples, but you got to understand from my perspective as a business owner and being able to give people what they want, I need to put every drop that I have available into the bottles. Now, when I start getting a regular supply in and I can keep up with the demand, yes, we'll get samples. And same thing with the influencers and people that I work with too. People were like asking me for months now, like, when's my PR package coming or whatever. It's like, well, you got to understand, okay, and then when they get their package, why didn't I get Nemi line, or why didn't I get Triamphobacus extrait? Yes, we're touching on them subtly now. We're not going into the notes. We're not going into the details because I don't have them in stock. And again, I don't want to tease people too bad because I've already hurt some feelings from people who couldn't get it. And I don't want to do that. Just trust me, I'm working hard to get it back in, and it will come back October. Sign up for the automatic notification so that you can be the first one to be notified. Subscribe to the newsletter and the Argos Fragrances Connoisseur Facebook. That's all I can say. Now, for restocks, we're not going to be sending out a blast every time something comes in or out of stock. You can't do that. Now, new releases, I try to pick a date and I try to stick to that. So when I said September 1st, yes, it was like a few hours before midnight that we released it because I'm not up until 12 in the morning or 1 o'clock to flip the switch on. So yeah, again, if you want to get a few hours ahead, then I would suggest, get those groups because people are going to talk. Oh, I saw it. It's live. Okay, perfect. You were a part of it. You were vigilant and you were able to get on that a few hours before somebody else. But as far as the restocks, click on the notification, enter your email so that you can automatically be notified. Okay. That's the solution.
It's super fair, honestly. Mahogany's kid is asking about 30 milliliter bottles for the extrait. Is that going to be a thing?
Yes, it will be a thing.
Okay.
Now, my artwork plates came in, but my boxes got destroyed. So my 30 ml TOB boxes, yes, the U.S. Customs went through my container and they walked on everything, and they were nice enough to put a green sticker, U.S. Marshals inspected or whatever they're called. But yeah, the box was all over. I mean, I was thinking that, okay, they did the X-ray scan when it came into port. I thought that was unusual. And then a few more days later, I was expecting to get notified that it was on a train to Texas. And then I got a notification saying it was in queue for another inspection, a physical inspection. And I was like, what is this? So they ended up taking the entire 40-foot cargo container, everything out, took another week. They charged me for that, by the way. A nice bill came.
Give me a break.
All my boxes were nicely wrapped on pallets. When I opened it up, all the pallets were pushed off to the side. They had taken every single thing off, which blew my mind that they would take the time to do that. I don't know what they were looking for, but I'm trying to figure that out. I've asked my broker, I've asked my import person, like, why did they single me out? And we can't figure it out. The only thing I can think of was the boxes of the 3D plates. Before we put the enameling on them, we get the plates in. So I wanted them to ship that with the rest of the boxes to save on freight. Well, it doesn't save me anything when they go through it and they charge you. So I'm thinking that bunch of metal, they were going through to see what that metal was. That's the only thing I could think of. Everything else was glass and paper products for packaging. The rigid boxes, the folding boxes and stuff like that, and glass. And the caps too. So that was metal too. So I was thinking maybe it was the large amount of the metal for the caps and the plates. That's the only thing I can think of. But anyways, we're going to get those boxes reprinted, and then we'll release that. But unfortunately, I have to buy so many when I do an order like that. So probably won't be till 2024 before we get the 30 ml.
Okay, fair enough.
And a long answer, but that's the true story.
Yeah, no, there's always a story.
Made it, but the boxes got destroyed. So,
man, that's kind of heartbreaking. But it's those things that are out of your control that you just have to deal with, right? You can't, there's no way to get around it once it happens. It's like, okay, we got to go through this,
I was, and then when they sent me another bill for, I think that just to do those 2 extra inspections, I think they sent me a bill for somewhere around $12,000. But if you don't pay it every day, there's storage fees. And it's like, I'm 2 weeks away from my launch on September 1st. Of course, I paid it right away to get it on the truck and then up here to Dallas. So it's like, what do you just take my money? So yeah, it's just one of those things that you guys are never going to have to understand. You're just going to enjoy the fragrances, and I'll be the one that's sweating it.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, people are really, really excited to see you, back out on the battlefield, putting out some fantastic releases, giving us some new rich stories to experience by way of smell and even, of course, the visual. You can't discount that at all. So, yeah, I'm just thrilled. I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us to share just everything, more or less, that's been
Yeah.
going on. And
And again, I hope that we can do another one fairly soon, because it's been a year since the last time. And I'll be ready.
yes,
And we're going to have Fall of Phaeton, and we can experience that. And then we'll have the Nemean Lion restock and the TOB
yeah,
restock. So there's a lot more to talk about. It's still big. Even though I waited this long, in the year, it was because mostly I was out of the country. And I don't want
yeah,
to send one of these cargo containers of products here to the United States and me not be here. I have to be here because, just like things like this X-ray and this inspection thing, you never know. You plan as best you can, but inevitably something pops up. So what's in the future for Argos? I hope people that are in and around Texas and Dallas can make it to the show on the 29th, on Friday the 29th this month, for the launch party for Fall of Phaeton. We will have some Nemean Lion on hand and some TOB straight on hand. I'll be there, so I'm going to make sure that there's some there. But next year, again, I'll be overseas. I'm planning on going. Actually, I'll be in France in December, and I'll be in Paris for New Year's. And then March, I'll be back in Turkey again to hopefully purchase property there for manufacturing, because I do want to open up a manufacturing warehouse and plant there in Istanbul. So that'll cover my CIS region. France will cover the European region, and then Dallas, Texas will cover North and South America. You need to be, and I'm getting to where things are kind of a logistics nightmare. Shipping dangerous, hazardous goods is not cheap, and it's not easy. So just having a facility in each one of these zones is going to be great. Again, it's going to help me with my supply issues, because I'll have multiple places where I can manufacture, multiple places where I can get oils and alcohol and things that I need to make these fragrances. So yeah, we're going to have it. We already have an office. Well, I have my villa there in Istanbul, and we're going to have next summer, I'll open up the warehouse. Now it's going to probably take me a year to build that one out. France is almost done in Nice. So again, it's going to make things a little bit more streamlined for European orders, and then other countries over there as well. We're growing. I appreciate everybody who's been there since day one, new people as well that are getting on. They're understanding the stories. They're enjoying the fragrances. There's a lot more to come. I think next year for sure. I've already got one that I want to release next fall. Hopefully number 2 from the Hercules series will be out next year. And then maybe 2 more. Yeah. So like you can expect next year when I come back at the end of the summer, because my son, who's 4, he starts school. So you can expect me to fly back here for him to start school somewhere around the beginning of September, and then have more releases. I love releasing right before the fall, getting out of that crazy summer weather where, it's so stinking hot that sometimes you don't want to wear something heavy. I like heavier fragrances, so that's what I'm going to keep making. I like situational fragrances, unique, luxurious fragrances. So you're probably not going to get a lot of light fragrances from me. I mean, Pour Homme is the lightest one that I've got. It's the freshest one. It's the Fougère, classic Fougère one. But that does what it does, and it's great for that particular reason. It's it's a no reach, or it's a blind reach.
Yeah.
Throw that on and you're fine. It's fresh. So that's why I don't make a lot of, simple, fresh fragrances.
Yeah.
But yeah, next fall, we're going to be releasing some more. So hopefully this will be kind of the new cycle for Argos. In September, we can get ready for new releases. It actually gives time for these new ones to get digested and for people to get them too, because a lot of people wait till right before the Christmas, or they wait for the end of the summer. And then these fragrances are good all the way through the year, because we got such a big line now, like 13 fragrances. We just jumped from 8 to 13 overnight, just in the last 2 weeks. So it's going to take some people some time to get a few of these, get some samples, buy a few that they love, and let their collection grow. And people haven't even got these and started posting yet. So literally they came out like less than 2 weeks ago. So these are gonna do great. These are gonna do well. We're already getting great feedback. So there's a lot of great things coming. I'm reinvesting so much back into the brand. I've got the new men's accessories line that I'm going to premiere at the launch party on the 29th. I've got the jewelry line that's coming out. I think we posted some pictures on Instagram some of the necklaces and the pendants and the rings and the things.
Mm.
And why? Because it's a lifestyle, and it makes sense if you're into fine things, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's
No,
nothing wrong with that. You only live once. So do it right. Enjoy your time. Spend your money the way you want on the things that you want and the things that you love and the things that you enjoy. For me, there was a moment in my life way back in the day, like, okay, you're creating fragrances. How is this helping the world? Well, you know what? It's making people smile. It's making people happy. They smell good. Their confidence goes up. Whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
I'm doing something positive. And
yeah,
with the charity events and the other things that we do that we don't talk a lot about, we can actually do more positive things. So it's full circle for me, and I enjoy what I do. And then maybe someday my son will pick up the mantle and do this. He's already coming in every night. Dad, can I try one of these? And he gets it out of his hand. He walks around. It smells. So he's already into fragrances. 4 years old. So
yeah, that is so crazy, man.
Maybe I'm a monster, but we'll see.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, Christian, so excited for you, for the brand. I respect you. I admire you. And it's just, again, so cool that we've come this far since, I think, 2017, which is when we first started talking. So, I really
started. I always say that we're just getting started. So,
yes. And I really look forward to giving these some wear, get my wife's thoughts as well. I already know. I have my ideas as to which one she's going to really gravitate to. I think she's really going to love Venus, but we'll see. We will see. They're both beautiful. So, guys, once again, there's a link in the description to check these fragrances out if you're interested. And yes, Christian, we will have you back for more. I can't wait for the new releases even next month. So
that's part of in the back of my head. I talk so much, and every time we got to stick to that timeline. So yes, we've got plenty more to talk about with the other 3 fragrances that we didn't talk much about today.
Oh yeah, I'm not worried about it. And we will do it. I like this format. I like unboxing on camera. That's just like, it's so
I like being able to give you the story. I don't necessarily want to give you all the notes, because you can read that on the box and you can spread it and test it. But I like giving the thought process, the story, and the creativity behind it. And also throwing in the artist and why they painted it and everything as well. So for me, I think that's a cool thing before or as you're unboxing it.
Yeah, we'll do that again. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you, everyone, all of you guys in the chat who stuck around to the end. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get a chance to check out these fragrances, and feel free to come back to videos and let me know what you think. Make sure you follow Argos on Facebook and on Instagram and everywhere else, and subscribe to the newsletter so you can stay up to date. And yeah, more to come on Argos. We will see you guys later.
We'll be doing more giveaways next time.
Yes, more giveaways. Always exciting stuff here in these streams.
All right, Justin, it's always a pleasure. I'll be talking with you again soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Christian.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye, everybody on the live.